Welcome to Funny Recaps. This is the Meg from 2018.
It's basically Jaws, except when the guys in the boat are going after Jaws, they look around and there's an even bigger Jaws, so the guys have to team up with Jaws to get bigger Jaws. I call it Big Jaws.
5 years ago, Jonas Taylor is on a mission to rescue people from a wrecked submarine. Most people get rescued, but the sub starts getting hit and crushed by the plot. Jonas reasonably decides not to get eaten alive and abandons ship. Dr. Heller is very upset that Jonas values not dying over potentially getting chewed up by a mystery sea monster. Flash forward to present day on Mana 1, an underwater research facility where a group of scientists are conducting an experiment on the ocean floor. Jack Morris owns the station, and Dr. Jang, his daughter Suyin, and a small team oversee it. Jack's engineered the station, so if anything goes wrong, stand near her. A crew is in a sub and on the way down to the ocean floor. They're heading down to the spooky deep sea layer of mystery, the thermocline. Is it really the bottom, or is there anything underneath it? It turns out there is another world down there. Personally, I wouldn't have jumped into the unknown where there could have been anything. A camera might have been a better idea, but it wouldn't have been as entertaining. Something hits the sub, pattern occurring here, until the sub is damaged and loses communication. They want to call Jonah, but Heller thinks it's a bad idea. Seeing as he doesn't have a better one, Jonah it is, in Thailand, where Jonas is living the good life. Mac and Dr. Jang show up to recruit him, to which he says no. They explain his ex-wife is down there, and this changes his mind. Also, he can basically say, I told you so. Back in the sub, they get power back on and immediately attract unwanted attention. Suyin decides she's not in the mood to wait around and takes a tiny, not shark-proof sub to rescue the stranded crew. Jonas arrives and takes the larger and better sub for a rescue down into the ocean. Suyin gets attacked by a giant squid which almost crushes her ship. Lucky the giant megalodon turns up to eat the squid as an appetizer before moving on to the subs. Jonas distracts the prehistoric murderfish just long enough for Suyin to escape in a badass flare scene. He then goes to save the others. Unfortunately, the Meg is not done yet, and while mid-rescue, attacks them again. Before they're all rescued again, Tochi shuts the hatch this time to ensure the rest of the crew survive. They get back to the station, where Jonah takes some more. How could you leave them? They want to advance slowly, but Mr. Morris is like, no. Jonah comes in, and Mr. Morris goes,
Excuse me?
Do you ever think that Mother Nature might know what she's doing? The thermocline might just be there for a reason.
We now learn that the rescue sub wasn't the only thing that left the thermocline. A giant Meg bites the station, with undeniable proof. The crew goes out on a boat, probably the same size as the Meg itself, to hunt it down. Again, not wise. They plan to use a cage to sedate it, but it's not ready and the shark could get away. So, another very wise plan is concocted to use a spear gun while in the water to attach a tracker. Jonah hits it, but almost gets munched. Then the cage gets eaten like a tic-tac and gets pulled down, deep in the ocean when the crane breaks. But Jonah manages to rescue Suyin, who is in the cage. Jonas looks at the shark's teeth and realizes this thing is way too small to be the Meg. As the celebrations continue, Mommy Meg jumps out and eats the other shark, capsizing the ship. The Meg is coming for Jax, so Heller distracts the Meg and, well, let's just say he'll be really good at hide and seek now. The surviving crew hops into motorboats and bails, with Morris calling in a helicopter to attack the Meg with gunfire and explosions, finally chasing it away.
You seriously think that a rifle is gonna hurt that thing?
I didn't have much notice, okay? I just wanted to get it off our backs.
Now for Morris's genius plan, step 1, lie to the crew about shutting everything down and letting the authorities handle it. Step 2, hire some military dudes to kill it and take the credit. Step 3, profit. Morris hunts it down with depth charges from a helicopter. They think they get it and move in on boats to confirm their kill. They learn they killed a whale when they examine the scene. As they try to escape, Morris gets left behind and eaten by the Meg. The crew learn Morris never told anyone because he wanted to keep it quiet. So now the shark is heading towards a very crowded beach in China. But they're not taken seriously when they try to warn them. The Meg is close. Too close in fact, just underneath the swimmers on the beach. They eventually notice and chaos resumes. As the Meg is about to grab another lovely bite full of humans, just as Jonah's team activate a dolphin sound to draw it away. the plan is to use torpedoes to shoot the shark and end Jaws 2.0. As bait and chase takes place between Jonah, Suyin, and the shark, some helicopters trying to get in on the action end up getting a bit too much and crash into the main ship. Some of the crew are thrown into the water or the Meg's dinner plate. They've hit it with a torpedo, but the Meg just shrugs it off like a mosquito bite.
I'm gonna make this thing bleed.
Jonah slices the Meg's underbelly wide open with his sub, which only seems to make it angrier. He also jumps out of the sub and stabs the Meg right in the eye, as only Jason Statham could do. The Meg, now mortally wounded, bleeds out while a bunch of regular sharks move in and start the true meaning of cannibalism. And just like that, the ocean is safe again, sort of. And that is the Meg in all its shark glory.
Stop eating our boat, Jaws.
Rawr, I'm gonna eat your boat, and then I'm gonna eat you guys. Rawr! Oh my God, what's that?
It's bigger, Jaws.
Oh my God, now we have a common enemy. We have to work together.
I already got a sequel in mind. It's called Way Bigger Jaws.
My favorite scene is probably the dive when Statham takes all the limits off the sub and slags off Suyin accidentally over the radio.